You are watching Tractor Talk with Gary. Many biblical scholars have argued, discussed, disagreed over where the Garden of Eden is over the course of history. I think I found it today. I found it in Hawkeye, Iowa. The sleepy little bedroom community of Hawkeye, Iowa is located in Fayette County, and it's in some really rich, fertile farm ground, and it's famous for two things: Jimmy D's Bar and Grill, some awesome food, and K&K Gardens.
Hi, this is Keith from K&K Gardens in Hawkeye, Iowa, and welcome to K&K Gardens. This is my 29th year of operating K&K Gardens. What started out as a small hobby business, the first few years has definitely grown into a large, well sought after destination garden center. We specialize in basically any type of plant. We have trees, shrubs, perennials, hosta, daylily. We do a lot of succulents. Now we also carry tropical houseplants from Florida. Also carry annuals, vegetables, hanging baskets. But I would say our primary focus is on perennials, hosta, daylily, and then the trees and the shrubs. We are open every day starting in late April, usually around April 25th. And then we are open every single day, even on holidays, through the end of September. Then starting in October, we're only open on weekends. Again, it started out very small. We basically grew everything ourselves for the first 4 to 5 years, utilizing the basement, artificial lighting. Then I built a room onto our garage where we grew plants from seed. And then the demand got so large that we basically were kind of forced to make a decision. Are we going to move to a different location and expand, or were we going to be able to expand at the present location? Fortunately, we had some neighbors who wanted to see us expand. They liked our ideas of having gardens that people could view. My and my wife's intention was to basically try to have examples of most every plant that we sold at that time. Now, obviously, with carrying 40,000 plants and getting people here from all over the Midwest, it's virtually impossible for us to do that.
40,000.
So we try. We really do try. Our garden center is very unique and very different from most places. Number one, we are located in the city limits. We incorporate 4 different properties and utilize all of the backyards in those properties. We've always tried to make it appear from the front, from the street side, that we're not a business. And then as you walk into the backyard, you're kind of impressed in all
to say the least.
Yep.
Yes.
About what there is to offer. So we started on the one property, then we moved over to the property to the west, which allowed us really to expand a lot. That's when we added all the trees and shrubs. And then about 8 to 10 years into it, we were able to expand to the east. And then 12 years, we actually got all 4 properties. So now we have what we call our shade gardens, where all the hostas are. Then we have our greenhouse, our big hoop house, where we have all of our house plants. and that allows me to carry plants over through the winter because we heat that all winter long. And then we also have a couple hoop houses that we winter over our hosta because they do need to be at a constant temperature all winter long in order to keep those from freezing out.
We are in a very cold climate here in the winter. These plants don't like that, do they?
Right. Yep. And then during COVID, we were kind of forced to start online sales, and we did a little bit of that before COVID, but definitely during COVID, we discovered if we wanted
I hadn't even thought about that.
If we wanted the business to continue, we were going to have to
Sure.
do mail order. So we do mail order, but only with hosta and daylily.
Okay.
Those are basically the two departments, the two types of plants that are the easiest to ship, and they actually tolerate being, shipped bare root. We wash all the soil off, we wrap them up.
How interesting.
And,
Wow.
and we ship hundreds, probably
Wow.
a couple thousand hosta and daylily each season. So, and that's something we do.
Where do they go?
All over the United States.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
It's amazing how.
That's incredible.
Yep. And almost every day in June and most of July, we will have anywhere from, 5 up to 25 orders. So some of the staff that work for me, it's their responsibility to clean the plants, get them prepared for boxing, and then I box them and ship them out. So even here, it's July 19th, we are still filling orders. And I say still because it's kind of late in the season for that, but there are people who are obsessed and collect hosta and daylily, and that's really important to them.
You are someone that is going to find a way. That's just the way it's going to be. They're, so what if it's a speed bump or roadblock? We just go around, go through. And another thing you do is ponds, right?
Right.
You're pretty good with ponds.
We do have water gardens. I put those in probably the second or third year that we had the business. They've been redone a couple times, but I can tell you the ponds are really require the least amount of my time. I clean them in the spring, I get them started up. I have the proper filtration systems. So really they run from late April until right around Thanksgiving.
How cool.
I shut those off. We have fish in there, the plants stay in there all winter, even though they freeze solid. Everything survives.
They just go to sleep in the winter.
Yes, they do.
Pretty much.
Yep.
I know this place is a massive amount of work, Keith. You guys aren't doing this alone. How big is your staff?
Right. I employ all youth. Every now and then I'll have an adult who's maybe trying to fill in some time, get some extra money. But right now it really varies. So if I tell you I employ 15 people, that would be the people who work here early spring, cleaning the gardens, doing the mulching, doing the potting. Those kids are usually mainly temporary people who are a lot of boys. Potting trees and shrubs is not an easy task.
A lot of labor.
Barreling mulch is not easy. And so we employ about 8 people in the early spring to get everything cleaned and ready, because my window of preparation is very short.
Right.
It amounts to about 10 days of decent weathered days to get everything prepared for customers to be walking in. And customers a lot of times think this just magically happens, but there's a lot of work before we open, and there's a lot of work after we close.
It's the kind of stuff that doesn't show unless you don't do it, right? Yep,
so,
then you see.
To answer your question, I have about 12 part-time youth, mostly females who are in high school or college. Some of them have an interest in horticulture or floriculture. Some of them don't. But in order to work here, you have to learn it, because you're forced to learn what plants are, where
Sure.
they're located, not necessarily how to take care of them, but just the layout of the operation.
That's something that I want to ask you is how long does it take to learn these plants?
Well, this
It's
is
not overnight,
Right.
I'm
This
sure.
is year 29 for me. I did
Wow.
not go to school. I have a degree in social work, so I didn't go to school for horticulture. I grew up on a farm. I kind of was forced to help my mom a lot in the garden.
Forced labor, right?
Yep. And then I helped my father a lot in the fields. So it was just something that I grew up with. Also something that I valued a lot. And so when my wife and I moved here, we started just doing some planting ourselves. The soil here in Hawkeye is really good quality dark black soil, so it's pretty easy to get something to survive. If you can't get it to survive here, you're doing something
wrong.
Yeah.
All the 10,000 plants here.
Yeah. So then my degree, my wife has an education degree. She's a high school English teacher. Mine is in social work. So we're really self-taught in everything that we do. I did take quite a few classes through Iowa State Extension that I could at the time. I also took a master gardening course when I lived up in Decorah, up in Winneshiek County. But that is just a very, very tip of the iceberg. I mean, that just gets your toes wet. So the rest of it, at the time, the internet didn't exist, so it was called books.
Right.
And you had to read. And so I
So
have
step back in time.
Yes, so I have a lot of books for resources, and even with Hosta, Hosta never used to be. You never used to be able to research them online. You had to purchase a book. So, but
Oh, cool.
some of those plants, the new introductions come out so fast that the books really don't. They can't keep up. So I mean, that's where the internet has really helped out. So
Great.
it's all been self-taught. It really has. Basically, we have grown as the demand has grown. So we're not a business that relocated into a city and you just build it to fit the dynamics of the area. We really did start small. We grew as our customer base grew. I used to do a lot of presentations. I used to travel quite a few different places during the winter, and so that helped out a lot with getting people here. But the number one source of referrals is by word of mouth. It really is. We could spend lots of time, lots of finances on advertising, but you really never
With little
know
effect.
where
maybe. Yeah.
you get the bang for the buck. You really don't. But when customers say, this is my first time here, and my neighbor or a friend or somebody in my social group recommended you, that's what really helps.
Morning, ladies.